Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. Alan Watts. I have previously discussed how the Bible is actually describing a pantheon of gods instead of a monotheistic view. I think this is what makes Jesus so special, because if I'm right that Hermes is Jesus, this means that one of the gods came down to earth and sacrificed heaven to aid and redeem humanity. It is said that Metatron was either first a human in the form of Enoch, or was the only angel that became human. Greetings, mortals. I hope you're all having an excellent day. I'm your host Simon. Welcome back to the Library of Gnosis. I have previously made a video explaining my view on Hermes as Jesus, so in case you missed that, there will be a card up top. My view, and I think the original translations of the Bible backs me up, is that there are many different forces involved. Christians would call these lesser powers angels, which just means messengers, and I call them gods. Like we all work to personally get ahead in life, this extends even to the gods. They all have their own agendas close at heart, like us humans, as we are made in the image of the Elohim. Each of the gods rules over their own realm of the universe, and can at times come together for a greater cause. But most often they stick to trying to promote their own agendas. And in the kingdom of heaven, because all of heaven maintains order through extremes, the strongest amongst them end up on top. Not the nicest or the most honorable, but the fastest, strongest, and toughest are at the top. Heaven truly is a meritocracy out of natural law and necessity. We can see this reflected in the story of Zeus and Typhon. Typhon came about from a union between Gaia and Tartarus. Typhon had the title as the king of monsters and was sent by Gaia to avenge her son Cronus and the Titans. When Zeus meets Typhon in battle, he is defeated, and is imprisoned by Typhon, and has all his sinews removed, making him unable to move. It is only through the help of Hermes, acting as an extension of Zeus, that Zeus is finally able to defeat Typhon. I think this archetypal story tells us of how you have to be able to be a monster to defeat a monster. Hence why Zeus lost first time around. He was yet hesitant of the brutality and carelessness that is sometimes involved in being the king and having to make tough decisions. Archetypically speaking, Zeus had to become a monster to defeat the king of monsters. Zeus, after all, has the job of maintaining order in the universe. Considering how many different agents and agendas Zeus has to oversee to maintain order in the universe, you could say Zeus has a lot on his hands. The ultimate force of order seems to be a combination between Zeus and the Fates, who rules over destinies. Zeus was also said to rule over destiny. Like one big celestial family, our ancestors and our rulers, each one presiding over all the different archetypal forces of the universe, like erotic love, wisdom, and war, and so on and so forth. Now, this does not take away from the Bible, as Yahweh is still the Most High God, or as I like to call him, Zeus, the King of the Gods. Now, each of the gods has a beneficent aspect, and also a negative one, all cooperating to maintain Ma'at, or the harmony of the universe. Now, the Egyptians believed that the gods were one's best friends and greatest benefactors, so we are in luck that they are on our side. But as with any force of nature, they can at times be reckless, like a wildfire. Most often humans just so happen to be collateral damage in the conflicts of the gods. Now, I know that I call Yahweh the King of the Gods, but I believe that Zeus has an heir. Just like Zeus was the last born of his parents before he became king of the universe, So do I believe Hermes is the last born true god, excluding demigods and heroes of old. But unlike Zeus having to defeat his father to become king of the universe, I believe that Hermes has earned the favor of his father, which allows him to become king of the universe. But Hermes likes to work from the shadows, and is simply not interested in ruling over anyone. He earned the title of king just because he does not want to be a ruler. Another theory is that Hermes is actually the real king of the universe from the start. Abraxas, the god above God, that decrees good from evil. And that the king simply does not want the responsibility of ruling the universe, so granted the title to Zeus, like Hermes being the owner while Zeus is his right-hand man, or CEO. Another theory is that Hermes is actually the real king of the universe from the start. Abraxas, the god above God that decrees good from evil. And that the king simply does not want the responsibility of ruling the universe, and so granted the title to Zeus. Like Hermes being the owner while Zeus is his right-hand man, or CEO. The reverse of how Hermes is portrayed as Zeus's right-hand man. In Norse mythology, we actually see this inverse relation as Odin, who is equated with Hermes, is the king, while Thor, who is equated with Zeus, is the heir. Now, I can't say any of this involves Hermes as the heir as anything more than just me speculating, using the facts and the Bible to support me as I compare Hermes to the Good Shepherd Jesus, who was said to be the king of the earth and possibly the universe. From Egyptian mythology, we have conflicting tales on how Thoth came into being. One story is that Thoth is the son of Ra, while in other stories, Thoth created himself. Now, to remedy this conflict, we have to remember that Thoth is a god of time, and as such is above beginning and end. I believe this knowledge of the multiple forces and gods is something that the elites know and are trying to hide this fact from humanity at large. Now, I believe that Yahweh or Zeus is the highest celestial being. He is still just a demiurge, as he has a gender and a form, which is required to be an agent inside this universe of duality. He is king of the gods and king of heaven. It would not be fair to call him the God, as it breathes over the fact that the true Godhead is unknowable and unspeakable. Neti neti, as they say in the East, translated as not this, not that, when speaking about God. Zeus is the vessel by which we might communicate with God and have a personal relationship with the divine. Anyways, thank you mortals for listening. It's been a while since I delved into the gods, so I wanted to get something out there to perhaps get better clarification of my worldview. If you liked the video, please feel free to share it, and if you want to support my work further, you can find me on Patreon. If you donate $6 or more, you will get access to all my written materials. I just casually want to mention that sometimes the hardest part about making a video is coming up with the correct title. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next one, mortals.